Well, this is Mitchell. He plays Niall. Niall is probably he's a character that's dealing with a lot of shame and asking questions of himself, trying to figure out who he is in the world. He probably feels quite scared when we first meet him, particularly having Ruben come into his world sort of changing. Yeah, he's somebody that kind of lacks autonomy, feels like he lacks safety, and he is, but he's such a sweet, sort of beautiful character, and Mitchell plays him so beautifully with his beautiful big brown eyes.
Right. And this is Stuart, and he plays the character of young Ruben, who is fresh out of the Young Offenders Institute and is brought back into Niall's life, and we watch as their relationship affects each other. Ruben is struggling himself. He is a vulnerable young male who is struggling with also shame, and it manifests in him a little bit differently to Niall, but he is also in search of connection, and we follow him as he continues on his journey with that, and Stuart plays it so well with his beautiful big blue eyes also.
It helped that when we first met, we kind of had this, we didn't know each other before filming or auditioning, but when we met, I think we became friends quite quickly. I certainly felt like I could be really vulnerable and open with Mitchell, which was necessary for the relationship, because I think, well, not necessary, but I think it would have been a lot trickier if we hated each other. But we don't, and we're really good friends off screen, and I think that the relationship was easier to find that kind of unspoken connection that the two characters have, because we have a friendship off screen now.
I suppose when they meet each other in their younger lives, they both are looking for a bit of safety and are looking for someone who can give them a bit of that. They're both really young, they're both being shaped by the world around them, they're both struggling in different ways. They're brought into each other's lives by their mothers, and the brotherhood that they have is really unique, and their relationship kind of develops into a bit of a codependency. And I think the characters, I think Niall has something that Ruben wishes he had, and vice versa. And so they have this bond that they can't quite get away from. They're totally connected to each other for different reasons. And it's beautiful, it is brutal, it is complicated.
I think Ruben quite immediately sort of makes the choice that he is, when I think it's such an important line when he says that we're family now and that's the most important thing in the world. It's kind of, I think Ruben, having suffered sort of previous trouble in his kind of relationship with his family, once he makes the decision, he feels a kind of protectiveness over Niall, and he'll protect him at all costs. We see that in the first episode. But it also kind of moves into a slightly more toxic possessiveness. He also feels like he's kind of got ownership of him. Again, that mix is probably informed from messages that he's got from his earlier life and probably from his family. And so that balance between protect and possess, toxic and intoxicating, was something that I tried to flavour in and was important for me. Ruben's relationship with Niall, and that kind of informed most scenes doing that dance between the two, and where he kind of felt, where he was in that scene. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I mean, I think we both feel very lucky that we got a chance to play these characters so early in our careers, and it was like it was an amazing experience, a real dream to get to tell this story in the way that we did. In terms of the responsibility part of the question, I was kind of fortunate that we shot first, so I kind of was able to give it a bit of a bash, and then Jamie could follow on from there. I had a bit of an idea of how I wanted Niall to be, but it's really not until I guess I was on the set in the costume that I was able to find all those little nuances or all those little moments. But Jamie then had access to the things that we were shooting, and he was able to then look at the mannerisms and the accent, and of course we had conversations that we could then, kind of work through together. And he does such an amazing job at carrying on the consistency of the character?
Yeah, I do feel, I think the sort of initially, and maybe still, before it's come out, the greatest pressure was to Richard's hard work in writing justice, because he's such an incredibly hardworking guy, and the dedication and work that he's put into not only Baby Reindeer but also this project in such a short period of time. I just wanted to I kind of couldn't think about it, because otherwise I wouldn't be in the right kind of brain if I was constantly questioning and thinking, am I doing this justice? But that initially was the feeling. I just wanted to kind of inhabit the world and embody the character that he saw in his head. Because the scenes are just so... I remember at the start getting that first self-tape through, reading that first script and speaking to other actors, other producers and directors. Or at the times, everyone was sort of saying, like, oh my God, have you read this script? This is incredible. Like, everybody wants to be part of it. And I'm just really, really grateful and lucky. And I hope that, when, collaborating with Richard, creating Ruben, that I've done it justice. Yeah, he was there from the first audition, every day on set as an EP. So I personally it was really useful, because I always had him to kind of lean on and guide me in the right direction. He was really encouraging. He kind of told me from the early auditions, if there ever was any doubt, to continue to trust my instincts and kind of believe in myself, and I've certainly taken that encouragement from him. Yeah, I personally worked with him a lot on making sure that there was a kind of continuation of the character. I did my work on the accent, and we spoke about makeup and hair and costume and tattoos and things like that, to just make sure that it felt that, the progression was there, understanding where Ruben kind of goes and where he's come from. Yeah, he's just an incredibly hardworking guy, but also super supportive and encouraging, to be spontaneous and find that kind of naturalistic performance. I think he was encouraging for both of us.
Yeah, just echoing kind of what Stuart said. He's such a talented writer, and to get to be an actor who's lucky enough to work with his scripts is amazing. He is always pushing and searching further, to go deeper, to look for the truth. And as a young actor and as a young person, being around that every day, it's really inspiring, and it really seeps into the way that you work. So it was a joy to work with someone who has so much passion for this story and for these characters, but also just for storytelling in general. It was amazing.
I hope that people can kind of see the relationship from the start. I hope that the work that we've kind of put in at the start to create the connection, the unspoken sort of bond between the two characters, I hope that they can kind of see that and see not only the dark sort of intense moments, but also the light and And I also hope that, because people have seen that connection, that people kind of see like the importance of having someone to kind of talk to. I mean, it goes to some pretty dark places for these guys' relationship, but I hope that people take away like the importance of connection and able to sort of talk about the feelings and be vulnerable with another person rather than keeping things bottled up. I think if I was watching it, I would kind of take that away, and I hope people do.
I have hope that it maybe reminds people just how complicated we all are as humans, and no one is just one thing, and everyone is playing out maybe how they feel inside themselves or things that have happened to them in the past. And maybe hopefully that can make us reconsider or continue to talk about how we're bringing up our young males, how we're bringing up our young people in general, about how maybe we could be a little more gentler with them and a little bit more softer. That's something that I hope people can take away from it.